Greetings, knowledge seekers, the force is with you. Today I'm going to show you this lightsaber hilt from SaberForms. It's the Redeemer MK3, and it's custom printed with my name right on it. All right, so let's open this up. Came in a brown box. All right. So it comes in your standard lightsaber box. So it's a nice box inside the brown box. It says Collection Saber. I like this box, really appreciate that it does come in a nice box, so the opening experience. So we got the hilt right here. It's wrapped in bubble wrap. Okay, nothing in there. Wow, look at that. And look at the custom printing right on the grip. It says Prionjoni. It seems that the foam is just there to cushion everything. Here's the blade, wrapped in plastic. We got the charging cable and the set screws, and the Allen key is in here. Ooh, this is nice. Comes with a blade plug. We got a paper manual. So here's everything it comes with. It comes with a blade plug, has the charger with the set screws and Allen key. We got the manual. We got a 32-inch heavy grade pixel blade. We got a nice box that it came from, and here is the hilt. This is the Redeemer MK3. The reseller called SaberForms reached out to me, and they asked me to pick out a lightsaber hilt, so I picked out the Redeemer. It's a really unique hilt. It almost looks like there's two emitters on it, but this is actually a pommel, and it comes off, so this side isn't so pointy. And I was a little curious about their neopixel, which they call a neopixel eco. It's cheaper than the Profi and the Xenopixels, but still has some gesture controls on it. All right, so this hilt, what I love about it is where the printed part has this matte finish, which is nice to grip. It's not rubber or plastic, but it's not polished metal either, so it feels like it's the perfect spot to grip. And it has brushed aluminum all the way around. And if you think this looks huge, it is a pretty big saber. All right, so let's put these next to each other. Here's my Revenant hilt from Imperial Workshop, which is a Luke Skywalker replica. Here's my Savi's Workshop lightsaber. And here's Jade's engagement lightsaber. It's a custom from SaberForge. And as you can see, it's not as fat as the Savi's Workshop one. It's definitely bigger than the Luke Skywalker one, but it's for sure longer than this SaberForge. It's a pretty big saber, but it's unusually lighter than you would expect. It's not too heavy. It has some mass to it, but it's not super heavy. This is the heaviest saber hilt I have, so it's a bit heavier than the SaberForge one. And they almost weigh the same with this LGT Imperial Workshop Revenant. But the thing that makes this not feel so heavy is that the weight is distributed throughout the entire hilt, from the grip to the switch, to the giant emitter and the emitter pommel. So it's nice and balanced. It might be a little heavy for cosplaying, but it's a nice non-canon hilt. But the black with the gold copper rings and the brushed silver just gives this a really nice look. I like the fact that it's not chrome. The emitter parts are not super sharp, but you do gotta be careful. In fact, on the pommel end, I actually like to remove this semi-emitter pommel because to prevent yourself from stabbing yourself, you can just put the emitter pommel right there and then be able to spin. Now the brushed aluminum look is consistent with the rings, and there's no mirror polish anywhere here, which I definitely like. Once again, just to compare to something that's more chrome looking, this is what it looks like. Now I really like this indentation where the emitter is, but you'll also notice that it might be just a little sharp right here. So like when you're spinning this, it's not super uncomfortable and it's not gonna cut your hand, but it was so much more comfortable for me to spin this using a glove. So just something to consider. Now the custom printing, if you go on their website, when you choose the Redeemer MK3, it's the only lightsaber I think on their website that has custom printing on it. They let you pick a font style that you want and you can type, I don't know how many characters exactly, but you can type whatever will fit right there on the grip, and I think that looks really, really cool. And like I said, the lack of chrome actually gives it a more industrial look, but also a semi-medieval look. And it has that Star Wars aesthetic of old age and future, you know? Kind of like cyberpunk meets medieval. And I can see some people choosing to weather this. This might be cool weathered, but it also looks really cool just the way it is, not weathered. Now a really cool feature here is how the blade actually connects to this hilt, because if you look, you don't see the set screws anywhere on the emitter. If you look right here, there's this ring, which looks like a small emitter, and this is where the set screws actually connect to the blade. And this ring actually twists on onto the hilt. And that gold portion actually peeks out just a little bit, so you kind of have a hint outside of the emitter showing what it is. I think this is a lot more secure than just tightening a set screw and leaving it there, because you're basically connected with a set screw and also you're tightening it into the emitter, and I don't really get any wobble. This feels really solid. Now, in case you're wondering, how do you know what the length is of this ring, how far you're supposed to go? There's actually an included plastic guide that tells you. Basically, this is a little guide that helps you know exactly the length of where you're supposed to set the ring and tighten it so that it will perfectly mount into the hilt. So this blade is made of high impact polycarbonate. It's pretty solid. Now I noticed a little bit of residue from the glue on the tip, but you know, I like to sand my blades for more diffusion, so when I sand that, that'll go away anyway. Now, I got the 32-inch blade because that's the most comfortable length that I use. I do notice that the center of balance is like close to the emitter, like somewhere about, yeah, right there. So whenever I'm spinning this, it actually feels a little slow because the balance point is right there. Sometimes you want that center to just be a little bit into the blade, which I think a 36-inch would be able to achieve. But just keep in mind that if you have a 36, that it will be a little heavier, which could also slow you down when you're spinning it. All right, so let's turn this on. Now, what you're gonna notice is this thing is pretty loud. And I'm gonna turn it off. And we're gonna set it to mute. To mute it or unmute it, just hold it down and it blinks once. Now to turn it on, you can either tap it once or you can do a gesture. And it does have smooth swing. Has impact. Now I have white, so the clash might not show, but just to show you how to change the colors, I actually like how you can change the colors on this NeoPixel Eco because you can do it while you're actually spinning. So you hold the button and then you do a twist to the right. So let's do some rainbow. Now what's cool is your blade styles will also cycle through with your colors. So all your available blade styles can be found as you do the cycling. So a little bit of flicker with a purple. Like a red and yellow lava. Like a liquid green. A flickering blue. Color changing. Yellow, teal, green. Let's bring up red again. So clash. So we see little flashes on there. We also have blaster deflection. You just tap it while it's on. And we also have blade lockup, which is hold it, let it blink once, and then let it go. And then click once to let it go, and then twist to turn off. Now to change the sound fonts, you hold it down and let it blink twice.
Electric Essence.
This is Electric Essence. Now your Saber ignition on and off will change with your sound fonts, but you still have the same blade styles and color options with every sound font. So let's do another sound font to, okay. I like this one, it's a little quieter, but that's a pretty loud smooth swing. So yeah, what I really like about this is how easy it is to access and change the colors. Now you can't do color mixing where you can fade each color. It's not like a NeoPixel or a Profi where you can either cycle through the colors or do the twist gesture for the colors. But I do think that whole hold and twist, that's pretty cool because that means you could be dueling or spinning your saber and be able to change the color or blade style. So despite being a super affordable electronics board, there's a lot on this NeoPixel Eco because it still has the gesture control. It has a limited but somewhat interesting way of changing your blade style and colors. So overall, there's 20 colors and blade styles. There's 16 total sound fonts on here. Now, because it is a NeoPixel Eco, you can't customize the sound fonts and the blade styles on this board. You can't just take out an SD card or plug it to your computer and reprogram it. But if you're looking to something like that, you could always jump into a NeoPixel or a Profi or a Golden Harvest, whatever type of board that you prefer. That's more of an upgrade because this looks like it uses a standard Saber core, which you can just unhook this core and slip in a different core or soundboard. But for me, I really like this because say you have a Star Wars wedding coming up and you need to quickly change the colors or the blade style. This is a lot faster than doing the whole phase and lock, or I have to hold it down and twist and then pick the color and I hope I have it right before I slipped my hand, I'm in a different color than I wanted to be. So it's really cool that it's a hold and twist. Now let's take this out for a spin. So yeah, this is the Redeemer MK3 from SaberForms. You can find this on their website. I'll leave a link down below. And as always, I really appreciate you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. And don't forget, the Force is with you always.